Hey guys, this is Daniel, Dr. D again, and this is part two of the two-part video on the plinths. This plinth here is I did for the Allen Ayton 45s, monos, and I got the jewelry feet on the bottom as well. Holes were done the same thing, just like the Zen amp that I discussed or explained in part one. And this is the other one. This is the other mono, and don't worry, it's not going to scratch the speaker. Underneath here are the felt feet, so it slides on the speaker beautifully. It won't scratch it or cause any damage. Trust me, I'm very careful with this stuff. This is done the same way. The tops are 45'd. The grains are matched all the way around. I'm sorry if the video doesn't portray it very well. This is solid oak, and it's done with a dark rose stain. I just went with oak. I'm not a real oak fan, but I thought, well, it just kind of has a kind of a cool grain to it, so I thought I'd go with that. And you know, it's just time consuming doing this stuff. You know, you would think you could go in business doing this stuff, and I've been through all that. I've run, you know, I've been doing this stuff for many years, so it's like, but it's just, I got so much going on in my life, I wouldn't want to keep doing this, you know. But it is, once in a while, if I just get the urge, I go out in the wood shop and do some work, and there you go, you know. So on the back here, just so you know, it just wraps around. That's three faces. You can see on the back, it's completely open. So you have all your cables exposed, so if you want to do that. But from the side, it looks, obviously you have the covers, you know, the plinth covering everything. So another plinth here is this one here for the Thorns TD165 that I built. This is by far the most difficult plinth to build, and if you're doing a one-off, it's very difficult because it's like a prototype. Whenever you're doing wood construction and you have a production going, it's a piece of cake, man. You can just pump things out like nothing. But whenever you're doing a one-off, you have to be very careful on the first try, because all these plinths are made from one piece of lumber, and they have to be wrapped around so all the grains match. I'm sorry if the video doesn't show it very easily here, but this side you'll see the grains are matched. You'll see all the grains are matched all the way around, so they continue all the way through. One of the corners in the back, they don't match, obviously. But this one has adjustable feet. If you're wondering where the feet are from, you can buy them for like 30 bucks. You can get them on Parts Express, I think, or Express Parts or whatever. And they're adjustable. There's 3 feet on here, so it's like a tripod, so you can adjust it. It's a lot easier, and it just sits. Now, one of the reasons this is very difficult to do is that this piece of metal here, right, it has to sit in perfectly. So when you're taking measurements, you have to be very careful, because you have to account for the thickness of the blade when you're doing 45s. And if you're not careful, you know, you're not going to get even distance with this. So this is perfectly, you know, when you look here, this gap is perfect all the way around. And so what I had to do is cut little by little, shim off a little bit more, and then shim off a little bit more and then put the table back in here inside the plinth to make sure, you know, lined up perfectly. And it's just a very time-consuming process. After that, I took it down to the hardwood shop and had them just mill this down on both sides so it's perfectly flat, you know. So there's a lot of time and work that goes into making just one. But once you get a production line going of something, like I said before, you can get it done pretty fast. This here was the Clips Restorations, African Padauk wood. They did a very nice job. I tell you, from a woodworker standpoint, this is world-class work, what these guys did. The corners are absolutely exquisite. I mean, they're perfect like you got from a factory. So if you're ever wondering about Clips Restorations, how good the woodwork is, I will just tell you it's impeccable. Rather ironically, when I bought the Leek, I didn't get it. If you guys watch my old video, you'll see I didn't get the darn wood plinth. Stupid me, right? Rather ironic, you know, that I do woodwork and I didn't get the only component in the industry that probably comes with a wood, you know, casing like this one. So I just said heck with it, and I got the wood one and spent a couple of $100 extra bucks. So I thought later maybe I might make my own, but just doing this stuff is kind of, it just gets a little bit time consuming to do it, and I got just too many things going on in my life. The woodwork on this is very nice. The only thing I'm not keen on is it does have a finish over it. And the reason I don't like wood finishes is because if you scratch them, you can't fix them because you have to take the rest of it off and strip it down. So you have to be very careful with that. Whereas with this, if you scratch it, you can sand it and restore it right away. I mean, you can put beeswax on it and then go ahead and put oil on it and rub it, and it's perfect. You know, whereas with finishes, you know, you can't do that. I mean, obviously with the speakers, this is like industrial grade. They're gonna have to put a finish on here like they do like Klipsch would do, you know, with their production models. So it's understandable. But anything that's production, they have to put a finish on it, you know, because it's gotta last, you know. But you just gotta be careful with it, that's all. I prefer natural wood finishes given the choice, and like this where you can just oil them and sand them and work on them. But you know, for people that aren't into woodworking, it's completely understandable to have coatings on there. So it just depends. Anyway, I hope this helps you out and answers any questions you guys had about plinths. And if you guys have more questions, you can ask in the comment section. I try to answer all the questions people have, even if there's some things that are criticism. I'm more than happy to try and answer those kinds of questions too. I don't delete them unless they're just absurd. I've never had to do that. All right, we'll catch you later.